Having some fun out here today in New Carlisle, Indiana, landscaping a new home and toy barn. This is a hidden treasure out here, Mark.
It is. It is a beautiful situation here. We've got all the woods and the trees, and the house is tucked back in here. Of course, the house is absolutely beautiful.
It is stunning. New home construction, the landscape to go with it, and a toy barn that we're going to talk about in just a few moments. But tell us a little bit about the relationship. Tim and Mavis, the two homeowners, your relationship goes back over a year.
It does. We met last year, started working on the design process, and actually started the installation last fall. And we did this in multiple stages and just wrapped up the project a couple weeks ago.
Well, the front looks beautiful, and it really begins with a fantastic anchor over here to the side.
Well, thank you. And that's one of our Canadian hemlocks, and it's in the evergreen family. I love the nice lacy type of look, and it becomes the bones of the landscape.
So you really kind of start there, don't you, and play off of that?
We do. And then we add other dwarf miniature plants, which gives us some seasonal color. Craig, we've got spring blooming azaleas here. And then we've got other perennials, which will be blooming during the summertime. And then just like up against the brick wall there is one of our fan burning bushes, which gives us a nice splash of red color in the fall.
Now, you talk a lot about native boulders, Mark. What's a native boulder?
Well, boulders that are native to Indiana and Michigan here.
There are lots of them here.
And it goes along with our native stone ground cover. And we chose this for a couple of reasons, Craig. Number one, it's a really large piece of property and we wanted low maintenance.
Yeah.
And should get 20 to 25 years worth of use out of the stone and the weed barrier that's underneath there. But it's all about beautification. And I love how this stone goes along with the color palette that's on the exterior of the house.
Well, the beautification really begins with the early planning, and you know when you look at this property, you see the contours here of the sidewalk and drive. A lot of thought went into this.
Well, thank you. And what you don't see is a straight driveway or a straight sidewalk.
Right.
And this is something that we have a very generous sidewalk here. We also pulled it away from the house, got some nice free-flowing curved lines. And what that allowed us to do is create a very nice layered look where we have taller plants in the back, shorter plants in the front. And it just gives you a nice professional type of look that way.
It sure does. Wow, this is beautiful, Mark. It's fun to imagine what the homeowners must feel at this point, right?
Well, I just talked with them when we got here, and it has exceeded their expectations.
Absolutely. You got another anchor behind you there, it looks like.
We do. This is one of our Wichita blue junipers. We've got more of a narrow area here as the sidewalk approaches the driveway. This is perfect for here. Going to give us some height, but not a lot of width.
Now, the house does set up a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. And I love how the landscape actually displays itself because of the angle that it's on here.
And it had a lot to do with the way that you laid things out. Talk about the interaction between the toy barn and the house. You want some symmetry there, don't you?
Yes, and you'll see that the colors are similar, yet a little bit different, and we designed so the driveway and the sidewalks, there's a nice traffic flow in between the two structures.
Well, can you talk just a little bit about what you've done outside of the toy barn here that complements what you've done here at the house?
Well, we always like to follow the architecture of the buildings, and because of the wraparound porch here, we've got lower plantings, and then wherever there's a wall or an open space, we like to soften that with something with some height. And then also we're always looking for a contrast of colors.
Well, it's a nice lead-in to what we're going to find around the corner. Well, Mark, hillside retention, a very practical and important part of the design, especially in the backyard here where a lot of people mingle.
Absolutely. A couple of reasons for it. We've got a big grade change here, which actually is ideal for a walkout basement.
Sure.
And what we did was designed the set of stairs along with a pathway to direct not only the homeowners but their guests as well to an outdoor living area, which we've got incorporated into the walkout basement.
How cool is an outdoor living area? And you know, the key thing here is to utilize it, right? I would imagine there's probably some folks that maybe have an outdoor living area that they don't really functionally connect with like they should?
Well, the homeowners just shared with me when I got here this morning is that they had over 20 friends and family
Cool.
here just recently, and they had more than enough room for that.
That's awesome. Hey, this is beautiful here. Talk a little more about it, can you?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, what you see here is some boulder retention, and that's what we're using to retain this hillside. And then because of the size or scale of this, we've got an area here that just simply was too steep to mow. And so we've got a larger landscape bed here, which is a perfect spot for us to plant all these perennial flowers and flowering trees and shrubs. Basically, this walkway is a walk through the garden.
It is. I love these steps, man. These are really concrete.
Well, thank you. Actually, they're not concrete.
Yeah, I know. Bad choice of words.
It's natural stone.
Yeah.
And they're very comfortable to walk on. They have a 6-inch rise, which we're very comfortable walking or stepping up to that. And then another thing is the size of the treads. They're larger enough that your entire foot can be sitting on there and not have part of your foot hanging over the edge. Another thing that we did was, Craig, we incorporated some landings in here. And the nice thing about that is you don't have step after step after step. Gives you a little chance to catch your breath.
Yeah, and that's good for older folks and younger ones too, right?
Absolutely.
And how does this flow into the main living area?
Well, this is a patio that we were asked to design, and the scale of this is rather large, but it's in proportion to the size of the house. And worked with homeowners on not only the design and the texture here, but also the color selection. We wanted to have kind of more of a contrast of colors. We've got a lighter color exterior here, and we really wanted this patio to pop.
It does pop, and it's a stamped product here,
It is
right?
stamped concrete, low maintenance that way, and basically the cherry on top of the sundae is right here behind us.
This is something else, isn't it?
It's a beautiful outdoor fireplace, and it's really the focal point of the outdoor living area here, and this is where friends and family can gather around here.
Were there any discussions, Mark, as to where to place this, or was this really the only option?
Great question. No, we had lots of options, but behind here we had a large concrete retaining wall, and that was very functional, and we had to have it. And so what we did was put a couple of trellises here. We've got some climbing vines. Those are climbing hydrangeas. Those will do a nice job of softening the concrete. And then in addition, with the fireplace and this beautiful chimney here, that softens the concrete wall as well.
All right. Well, Tim and Mavis are the homeowners. You know, I ask these homeowners that we talk to, Mark, what they like most about your work. I'm going to ask you, what do you like most about Tim and Mavis?
You know what? They've been a joy to work with, and it's been a long-term relationship. And actually, the last time I was out here, I didn't get home until 10 o'clock at night because they invited me to sit down on top of their deck and join their family. And we had some nice refreshing drinks and overlooks the beautiful woods here.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's very special.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, Tim and Mavis are the homeowners. Let's catch up with them now, huh?
Okay.
Having a great time out here in New Carlisle, Indiana. And with us, the homeowners, Tim and Mavis. And good to meet both of you. And I know Linton's is quite happy with what's happened out here and the transformation of this beautiful property. But Tim, as far as you personally, what do you like most about what's happened?
Well, I like it all because every section complements the other, and it just keeps going on and on. It's beautiful.
What were your thoughts initially, Tim, about having Linton's come out? Did you think that a company like Linton's was the key to complementing your property the right way from the very beginning?
Oh, I would think so because, they have a good website. You go on there and you can really see how well they do with everything. So that was sort of comfortable. And then when Mark showed up, he really made everything happen right. So we're real happy with everything.
It's a great compliment. Mark Linton, and the website, of course, lintons.com. Mavis, what about you? What were some of your favorite things about what happened out here?
I would say every part that Tim said. When Mark came out and he presented, the thoughts to do this, we knew right away it was going to be absolutely beautiful, and we're really, really happy with everything they've done. The workers that showed up were nice, polite, courteous. I mean, we went to Linden's, we picked out what we wanted. Mark was amazing, and I can't say enough about how happy we are with them.
Great to hear. Tim, I love your toy barn, by the way, too. That's really cool.
Well, what he did is he put landscaping around it to really dress it up. It looks really beautiful that way, and the barn looks very inviting. It looks more than just like a barn. It's almost like a place you can move into. So we're happy with that part of it.
Well, Mavis, we've got a little surprise here for you. Mark is coming alongside, and he's got a presentation he'd like to make. Mark?
Well, Tim and Mavis, it's been a joy working for both of you, as well as Teresa and Dan, and just wanted to share these flowers with you to decorate the inside of your house.
Ooh.
And also appreciate the opportunity for you allowing us to share this with the viewers out there.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Oh.
It's been
Thank you.
been an experience, but a really, really awesome one. You guys are the best.
Well, thank you.
You are. Thank you so much, and these are beautiful.
Not too heavy for you, is it, Mavis?
No, not really. Well, kind of. So, yeah. Thank you so much. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well,
It really is.
a beautiful finishing touch to a project here in New Carlisle, Indiana. Mark, again, great job.
Thank you, Craig.
And great friendship, it looks like, with both
Absolutely.
Tim and Mavis. Thank you so much, you guys. Much more coming up. We'll be back with a little bit more in just a moment. Stay tuned.